Good afternoon. Welcome to the September 23rd edition of Sports on Sunset. I'm James Jericho. Wonderful way to start off Sunday evening with a nice bit of racism, don't you think? Week 3 in the NFL. Let's get it kicking. NFL quick takes. Here's an idea. Up in Oakland, the game's still going on, by the way. It was tied with about 3 or 4 minutes left. We don't know how the Raiders are surviving, but whatever. But on a side note, what the hell was Marcus Allen doing lighting the eternal flame for Al Davis?
Really?
Yeah. The people in Oakland didn't want Marcus Allen lighting the eternal flame for Al Davis. Al Davis didn't even want Marcus Allen lighting the eternal flame for Al Davis. They hated each other. I mean, what is he going to do? Get OJ and Al Cowlings up there and the three of them will piss on the flame at the end of the game? What gives? Next take.
There's something special happening in Tennessee. I haven't been paying attention the last couple of years. I don't know how long this kid's been playing, but Jake Locker can play.
He's in his second year.
That kid can play. Good luck to you in Tennessee. They have a bad quarterback history of people getting murdered. So, good luck.
Speaking of the Tennessee-Detroit game earlier today, as exciting as it was to see the Lions come back within the last minute with a couple of touchdowns to tie, it was absolutely sickening to see the front-running fans at the sports bar down the street, these alleged long-time fans screaming, "Get some! Get some!" during this comeback. I don't even have anything against Detroit. I know, we both know a comic who's a long-time Detroit Lions fan. Great guy, Yak. Sorry, Yak, I'm happy they lost today because of those fools.
Go Bears.
Yeah. Get some! I mean, oh, by the way, memo to Detroit Lions long-time fan. Even Manute Bol can't fall forward to gain 5 yards. Just thought you should know. Next take.
Michael Turner, please hire a driver. Please hire a driver. Please hire a driver.
All last week, all we heard was how bush league it was for Tampa Bay to go bum rush the New York Giants when they were kneeling down at the final play of the game. I don't care. I see what you guys are doing in Tampa, and I approve 100%. Look, when you're trying to build something from the ground up, one of the things you have to do is you have to have an identity. And their identity is, we are going to be the most irritating team in the NFL. And so far, even though they only have one win to show for it, I think it's working. They may not be beating teams that are better than them, i.e. Dallas and New York. They got under their skin, and they almost beat them. That's a team that, if with a little bit more talent and just as much irritation, we're looking at a 3-0 football team and talking about them being an upset. Go ahead.
I waited until the 3rd week at least to do this. It's sports NFL takes. Please, Lovie Smith, somebody fire this dude. Please, fire Lovie Smith. You have an inept offense. You have a quarterback that refuses to throw anybody else but Brandon Marshall. Please fire this guy. Bench Cutler. Start Jason Campbell. Do whatever you have to do. Michael Bush, great job today, but the rest of you suck. Somebody needs to whip the shit out of Cutler. Find something.
Final take. I didn't pick the 49ers-Vikings game because I thought it was an obvious pick, and I would have been obviously wrong. Big respect to the Minnesota Vikings. I was mesmerized by your effort today. I really have been bullish on the Niners under Jim Harbaugh. But the Vikings did something no other team has done today. They outmuscled them. They rushed for at least 135 yards late in the 4th quarter, and it's kind of a rule of thumb. If you rush for 150, you should win. The 49ers don't allow that many rushing yards, but they got it today. So big respect out to Minnesota. We'll see if that actually leads to something.
Orgy boat.
Yeah. Guys, our main topic today, it is 1 week left in the Major League Baseball regular season.
1 week?
Yes. And guess who is nipping at the heels of the evil empire themselves? The Baltimore Orioles. 1 game out of the lead for the for the American League East. They're definitely in the running for a wild card berth, but like I said, they could win it. Now, this is a massive undertaking that I can't explain, and I've been watching Major League Baseball, and I know it pretty well. They don't have a significant lineup. They don't have a significant starting rotation. Their bullpen is okay, but this is a team. The Yankees should never have come back to earth, and yet Baltimore hung around. The Yankees led the division by 10 games about a month ago. So the question is, how in the blue hell is Baltimore doing this? They don't have a lineup full of studs. But I came up with a theory that we're going to run with today. Effective micromanagement.
Okay.
I don't know too many people who like micromanagers. Most of those people are either competent at their job and they don't want somebody hovering over their shoulder like this all the time. Or they're exceptional at their job and they don't want somebody who's less intelligent than them telling them what to do. All of those things are very legitimate complaints. I think the Baltimore Orioles needed a micromanager, and they have one in Buck Showalter. Buck Showalter has managed at 3 other places. He was marginally successful with the New York Yankees. That when he was 39, it made him a hot commodity. Got hired by the Arizona Diamondbacks. Player revolt. And how did that happen? Because, again, an expansion team, their very first year in existence, the first thing he did was hand every player an employee handbook thicker than this. Like this thick. Bam! Those are all the things to start that are expected of you. And they ran him out of town on a rail, even though he got him into the playoffs in year 2.
Okay.
Went to Texas, tried the same stuff with a team with Alex Rodriguez on it.
Yeah, that wasn't working.
Yeah. But the Baltimore Orioles have not had a winning season, nor have they been in the playoffs since 1997.
97.
That's a long time, folks. We're talking about people who were
15 years.
Yep.
Your daughter was probably just a glimmer in your scrotum before you said, you know what? When was the last time the Orioles were in the playoffs?
1997, yeah.
I didn't know Baltimore still had a team, the Orioles.
The reason that this matters, before we start probing this a little further, is, well, for example, it's not that the Orioles excel, like they have a massive lineup or massive starting pitch, but instead of building these gigantic winning streaks by dominating, they are playing a little bit better or on par with everybody else for a little longer and waiting for somebody else to make the mistake. Yeah. That's what I think is going on, because they haven't had a long losing streak. So with that said, let's talk about life and the micromanager. What type of person, in your opinion, responds to the micromanager?
People that lack discipline and want it. People that were in the military. People that need direction and don't know where to get it.
Okay, you've made a good point with the military, but people who go into the military, some crave the direction, and they tell you, military people have told me at boot camp that they tear you down completely to build you back up in their image.
Right.
On the other hand, there are people who are like, well, I want to go into the military, but they don't really respond to the micromanaging.
Right.
What are we looking at then?
I think Showalter is running his teams like he's in the military. I don't know his background. He might have been in the military, but like coaches like that tend to have a close, hands-on style. Like Bobby Knight had a hands-on style. He was military. Who else? Was it Krzyzewski?
Yeah.
I think Krzyzewski was at West Point or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So these are great coaches, but they micromanage.
Yet, can athletes fit that personality mode?
Yes, they can. How many pros have Bobby Knight produced?
Oh, he's produced a few.
Yeah.
Not necessarily all All-Stars, but
a lot of Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
What about Krzyzewski? He produced.
But they weren't professionals first. What I'm saying is,
as professionals, it's going to take a lot for them to accept micromanaging because they accepted it throughout college, through high school, through their AAU teams, through their summer league teams, through their farm league system teams. People are constantly trying to teach players how to play.
what is the difference then? Because in athletics, we always talk about the phrase playing not to lose.
Right.
On the other hand, what I've described earlier could be construed as playing not to lose. We're just going to play on your level and wait for you to make the mistake. Is there a difference that you've heard from either athletes or coaches between limiting mistakes and playing too conservatively?
Well, playing too conservatively is playing scared, and you're not going to win that. Like, I don't think the Orioles are playing scared. I just think they're playing like a sound strategy. Mm-hmm. They know that eventually someone's going to make an error, someone's going to be late on a throw, somebody's going to do something that will allow them to capitalize, and that's what they're doing.
How hands-on were your coaches when you were, I'll be danged, the Raiders won. Yeah. I'm happy that I got that one wrong. I did not expect that one. How hands-on were your coaches when you were playing, whether it was boxing or football?
When it was boxing, very hands-on, because you don't want to get some young kid killed.
Okay. All right.
In football, there was a little bit of micromanaging, but our wide receiver coach...
It's very structured.
Yeah, our wide receiver coach was a man named Paul Pisoni, who he wasn't all that hands-on. He would you're not catching the ball. That was his direction. Catch the ball. Catch the ball. You're running that route horribly. Catch the ball. That was his.
So in other words, if you were trying to run a hook route, he wouldn't tell you where to stop. He would just sit there and go, "You ran a horrible route."
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's hear it for the stipend program.
All right, Coach Pisoni.
Yeah. Name the strangest thing that you've seen coaches do in terms of micromanaging. Before I ask that, would you have responded to a micromanager?
Oh, certainly, because I believe that had I had somebody telling me, "Hey, you're running your ends too crooked. You need to get your cuts correctly." I probably would have been a better wide receiver. Okay. And I wasn't. So.
Do you? What is the? Since your stranger coaches were in boxing. What was the most eccentric thing? We always remember Mickey in the movie Rocky and Sylvester Stallone allegedly chasing a rooster all over the place. What was some of the weird things that a micromanaging boxing manager would have you do, or a boxing trainer would have you do?
Taught me how to run. How to run? Yeah.
Did it work?
There's a way that you have to run as a boxer. And because it depends on what kind of boxer you are. Are you a slow plodding boxer, or are you on your toes? Me, I've always been flat-footed. I run flat-footed. I try to run on my toes when I ran track. I tried to run on my toes, but for the most part, I was a plodder, so I would plant and then swing.
So micromanagers and that sort of things is helpful. Right.
Like he taught me how to run by you need to run with your feet up like this, So boxing and football conflicted, which is why I stopped boxing. Okay. Because in football you have to run legs out front. Yeah. Boxing, they were teaching me to run like this with my legs behind me, and you can't run that way playing a contact sport because you'll get your knees taken out.
The Orioles are one game out, and again, we've already gone through this. They've about their lack of losing streaks. But do you believe in curses?
Oh, most certainly. Most certainly.
The Orioles haven't. The last year, the Orioles were in the playoffs. One of their star outfielders, and again, this is not a team now with stars at all. Yeah, I think they might have had the minimum one All-Star this year. Their star Eric Davis had colon cancer.
Yeesh.
The curse of the colon.
I didn't know about that, but okay.
Maybe. You think?
Curse of the colon.
Just saying.
What about the LA Angels?
You've cursed us with a colon.
What about the LA Angels?
Oh, no. They actually, I think they benefited when Team 100. Just saying. Guys, why don't you tell them what's on your mind, man?
What's on my mind is, well, this is still football season. We're still in week 3. I've noticed something happening. It's a ripple effect in all of sports. There used to be a time where all the tall athletes gravitated towards the sports where tall people would go. They would go towards high jump in track and field, or they go towards basketball. It was very rare that a tall person would end up in a short person's sport. I don't want to say football is a short person's sport, but for the most part, it benefits certain positions to be short. Wide receiver being one of them. Well, not anymore.
Yeah.
There are currently, my number is probably incorrect here. I believe there are 22 or 23 people in the NFL that are playing wide receiver that are at least 6'5". This is a startling trend. Would you please take y'all tall asses back to play basketball? There are people that are 6 feet that want jobs. We need our jobs back. No way in the hell can we compete against people that are 6'5". Ramses Barton is 6'6", 240. LeBron James played high school football. I'm glad he stuck with basketball. He was 6'8", 270. Go to where the tall people go. Learn how to dribble a ball. Parents, if you have a tall son, get him off the football field. His knees are going to be taken out. Short people need jobs. Barry Sanders was 5'8". It's a monster of a running back. Maurice Jones-Drew, 5'7". Monster of a running back. Jeff, what was it? Fucking George? What the hell?
George?
No, George.
George Rogers?
No, the running back. Eddie George. He was 6'4". You need a running back to 6'4"? Get your ass on the basketball court. Stay off the football field, tall people. If you're 6 feet or under, that's for tall people. Jim Brown was not 6'5". He wasn't 6'4", what, 6'2"?
Okay.
He was considered a monster back then. Now he would just be an average size running back. Everybody has a 6'3" running back terrorizing the field. Everybody has a 6'5" wide receiver terrorizing the field. Quarterbacks are 5'9". There's not that many quarterbacks that are actually 6'1" or 6'2". I think the Bears might have 2 of them. Two of the 30 that are in the league that are above 6 feet. But I'm plain and simple. This is my plea for tall people to keep your asses on the basketball court and off the football field. Go play soccer, be a goalie, do something else, box, do anything else. Please, save football for short people. I'm done.
Guys, for many years, I joined the chorus like you, many fans, who were like, you know what? Let the players have their fun when they score a touchdown. Let them dance a little in the end zone. Let them spike the football, this, that, or the other. No. Here's why. Not many of us get the chance to have a good seat at an NFL football game. For 3 years, I had a front row seat up in Oakland towards the Black Hole for the Raiders games during the Jamarcus Russell era. So you might imagine I was drinking early. That was me at my alcoholic worst. But here's the reason why. Your team scores a touchdown. You're watching at home or at the bar. What do you see? He crosses the goal line. He high-fives his friends. Then the camera looks at the crowd, looks at the coaches, looks at the football being spotted for the extra point. Here's what you don't see when the camera is doing that. Ugh. Right up in your mom's front row. Right up in your mom's. Would you like some of Would you like some of the front row's mom? Oh yeah! Both of us all up in your mom front row. And that goes on for about a minute and a half. No wonder they started flagging for excessive celebration is what I'm getting at, folks.
Right up in your moms.
Right up in your moms. Literally. Think back to the glory days of Chad Johnson. Chad Johnson needed an intermission. His celebrations took so long. Now, I'm not saying I hate Chad Johnson. I'm not saying I hate fun, but I understand when 60,000 Raider fans want to murder the referees and the opposing team because in your mom's front room.
Rod Tidwell?
In his mom, too. I don't know. Rod Tidwell, I'm sure you're a Principal guy.
No. Jerry Maguire.
Oh, well, the hell with him.
The excessive celebration.
Yeah.
He was on the
Yeah.
hanging from the bleachers.
Yeah.
Rod Tidwell.
He
He
was
used to keep it good, too.
See, that didn't matter because nobody cared about the Arizona Cardinals then. I hope you have a wonderful week. I'm kind of lying, but whatever. I'm James.
Right up in your mom!
Yeah, baby. I could watch you do that all day.